Resident Evil fans, do we have some good news for you? As our boy and all-around heartthrob Leon S. Kennedy could be finally getting a new mainline Resident Evil game. Now, disclaimer here, the source is from a leaker, and while they're a respected Resident Evil leaker, everything we discuss is purely speculation and should be taken with a pinch of salt. Now, back to the video. The Leon Kennedy love has been at an all-time high in the last year or so, with the release of Resident Evil 4 Remake pushing him back into the spotlight for many Resident Evil fans. And to say it's long overdue would be an understatement, as his last appearance in a main timeline game was in Resident Evil 6 way back in 2012. And let's be honest, the less we say about this game, the better. Leon stans quite frankly have been living off breadcrumbs. Yes, as Dead by Daylight players were blessed with his appearance in the game, but after 12 years of silence, it's about goddamn time we got a Leon Kennedy-led Resi game. And according to this leaker, we're getting just that. Reputable Resident Evil leaker PRE Alarabia took to Twitter to announce that Leon Kennedy will be the main character in the next game's introduction. Now, something to note here is the very clear use of the words "the game's introduction," which they repeat again throughout the statement. This hints at two things. Either it's the ultimate tease, and we literally only get to play as Leon in the opening sequence, or it's another case of dual or maybe even multiple protagonists. I'm leaning more towards the second option, as I feel Capcom will be dropping the ball massively if they don't cash in on the Leon Kennedy hype train. Not just that, but throughout the mention of the leak, it is only ever the introduction that is mentioned, so it could just be that this was the only information provided by the source. Now, this leak was initially reported as Leon only featuring in the introduction, but a few days after, the leaker posted an update saying the source had further clarified that Leon Kennedy is in fact the lead playable character in Resident Evil 9. The leaker then goes on to say that the introduction segment will take place in the Southeast Asia region, with Singapore being its inspiration, with the events taking place on a remote island, but states that it will likely spread across multiple regions to accommodate the passage of events. Most interesting of all is the timeline that the leak suggests, as they claim the events of the story will take place in the summer of 2025, which, if we're going by the game's storyline, would mean that Leon would be 48 years old during the timeline of the new game. And 2025 seems to be a popular year for Capcom, as reports are surfacing that they're aiming for a release date of January 2025, which, if true, means that we should be hearing about Resident Evil 9 a lot sooner than we expected. And with the Xbox and PlayStation Directs just around the corner, everything points towards a potential reveal at these events. Who knows though, Capcom could just end up doing their own showcase for an in-depth reveal of the game, which I certainly wouldn't complain about. The leaks even go on to suggest that Resident Evil 9 is going to be an open world game, which is a first for the Resident Evil series. Now, we don't know exactly how to feel about that over here at GG Recon. Not every game needs to be an open world or live service game these days, but we'll hold off on our judgments until we see more. But worry not, as the rumors didn't just stop at Resident Evil 9, as one of the golden oldies of the series could be getting a remake that none of us expected. The same leaker went on to suggest that a Resident Evil 1 remake is not only in the works, but could be scheduled to be released in 2026. Again, take all of this with a pinch of salt, but the leaker does have a history of hitting the nail on the head with Resident Evil content, and their supporting statements do add some credibility to this theory. They claim that the series director Kawata previously stated that Capcom is preparing something for the series' 30th anniversary, concluding the statement by saying that the details are a secret. The source goes on to claim that as the 30th anniversary lands in 2026, Capcom is likely to aim for the release of the Resident Evil remake on the 30th anniversary, which means if all of these rumors are true, us fans could be getting two huge Resi games within the space of just 2 years. My immediate response to these claims was one of doubt, as there's no way they could release a brand new mainline entry game along with a complete remake of Resident Evil 1. I mean, just the sheer amount of work that will be required within that remake is overwhelming. Resi 1 is a game that was released on the PlayStation 1 way back in 1996. Barely any of its elements will translate over to the modern day, so it's going to need a ton of work to bring in new mechanics that honor the storyline of the original while still making it playable in the present day. But once again, reports are here to contradict my thoughts, as allegedly Capcom is just really good at keeping secrets, as it was reported back in February that Capcom is working on a total of 5 new Resident Evil games, and while it was obvious Resi 9 would be one of them, we had no bloody clue what the other 4 would be until now. Don't even ask us what the other 3 titles could be, we don't have a clue. All we can hope is that we never see a remake of Resident Evil 5 or 6, as, let's be honest, no one needs that. But while you've been watching this video, YouTube's algorithm has been working hard in the background to find the perfect video from our channel just for you, so why not go give it a watch.